As we all know, coronavirus has ruined sports for most of us. Our kids aren't playing in leagues, major league athletes are at home, and people have been losing their jobs. We all talk about the NBA is making their best for a comeback. Baseball season as a whole is in jeopardy, and who knows if that's really going to come back. That looked to me like it was going to be the one sport that was going to make the comeback. Football hasn't had to lift a finger besides their draft and their offseason because, frankly, everybody knows football is going to happen no matter if there was a virus or not. And hockey's hockey. Rightfully so. This is also not a hockey channel. But I still like sports, and I hope they're doing okay. But I do feel like we failed to recognize one major thing. What about the girls? What about the WNBA? I've listened and watched and seen on YouTube, TV, headphones, countless podcasts and ESPN videos and XYZ about how the NBA needs to come back and how we're going to get our athletes to get back into it and how we can do this and X, Y, and Z and da-da-da, Las Vegas, Disney World, the whole 9 yards. And I love that because as a basketball fan, of course, I want to see the WNBA come back just like any other person. But the girls have a season too. The girls are also professional athletes who, mind you, some of them could be a lot better than the men that sit on the bench and get paid more than them. The WNBA season was technically going to start around May 5th because that's when they start their training camp. May 9th was the preseason. First game was going to be around May 24th. Now, considering we're in June 3rd at the time of recording this, and we haven't heard a lick from anyone, including, at least from what I've seen, the NBA about WNBA, is very astonishing. And I'm kind of shocked that we haven't made a better attempt to get their league back up. WNBA, they have about 30 or so games, 32 I think, if I remember correctly, and they're pretty much a summer league. A lot of those women rely on their WNBA pay cut to get through the rest of the year. Some of those women can't rely on just that, and as some people may or may not know, they have to go overseas just to make ends meet. As we all also know, WNBA doesn't pay as much as the men. As far as popularity goes, as of 2018, the WNBA averaged 231,000 fans watching on TV, with an average of about 6,550 people come to the games every night. Which, if you think about it, considering you see packed shows every night for most NBA games, besides maybe Charlotte and the Wizards, because who really cares about Charlotte? Who really cares about the Wizards? It's unfortunately something not everyone wants to see. But with the virus taking over and taking out all our sports, we are basically dying for a good sports team or sports period to come back into our lives. I mean, people were watching golf like crazy because they saw Tiger Woods, and whoever else is there, because I only know about Tiger Woods. NASCAR's never really lost its flavor, and considering you can social distance doing NASCAR because you're in a car anyway and from everyone, it kind of just makes total sense. But people were waiting for that. People were dying for it to come back. Even if they couldn't be in the stands, they were okay with watching it on TV. Why can't we have our other sports back? And even then, why can't we have every sport back, including the women's basketball? They work hard every summer. When they do play overseas, people think, they're playing overseas, they're making more money, it should be better. No, even for regular NBA players, playing in different countries and places like that aren't always the best. You don't have the best conditions. Sometimes you're playing in a crowd of maybe 1,000 or less people, and considering you're in America, You're used to playing in crowds of, thousands of people. It really is a whole giant change. Another thing I wanted to bring up about all this is what happens to the women if they do lose their entire season in terms of their money. Because as far as the NBA goes, they've already lost about 15 to 20% already from their deal just because of the event. They haven't reached their TV revenue. It would require them to have about 70 games played for the TV revenue to kick in. But for most players, not just say most, say a good amount of players already, they'll be fine considering that's their one check. But with some of these WNBA players, not playing the entire season, how does the NBA treat this considering they do kind of, they did help create the WNBA, and the WNBA goes on a deficit every year. They don't make more money than what they put out, and it's just this needs to change. WNBA is a great organization by all means. I understand that it's not as popular a sport, but we can help make it popular. We can bring more people to understand what makes them better than the guys. And as we know, WNBA is a lot more skills in a sense than the men. I'm not saying that the men don't have any skills whatsoever, but a lot, not most, but a lot of us go to an NBA game. Why? We want to see the high flying dunks. We want to see the 360 between the legs, behind the back, passes, the this and that, the excitement, things like that. WNBA, you don't get as much as that as you would like to. It is a bummer, but you do see a lot more skillful play. They really have to hone their craft because that's all they have. For example, let's go JaVale McGee. If JaVale McGee could not dunk, he by all means would kind of be a useless player unless he really moved his skills to other things. It's just JaVale McGee's never been an offensive player anyway, so why would we give him a chance in the league? Considering now in the league, if you're a big man and can't shoot threes, you're basically useless. Everyone's gotta get out there and spread the floor, otherwise you're basically gone. All I'm saying is, yes, NBA needs to come back. 100% agree. But the WNBA needs to come back as well, because these girls deserve it.